Paul says, running so late on the course. Ironically, the weather. Paul, maybe you're referring to Achiever Formula. That's the current semester we're in. Ironically, the weather in Sydney, super storm cell over the weekend, was perfect to test my product that I've invented to get some performance stats. Trouble is that the project is soaking up a lot of my time, feeling very guilty. Paul, Kanban, right? You've got to understand the flow and how you're working. Because here's the thing, when I actually interrogate people, and if I had the chance to interrogate Paul about what they're doing on their business and what they're spending their time on doing, oftentimes you've actually done a bit. But here's the deal. There is an effect, and there's two, it's called the Zeigarnik effect. And there's two things about the Zeigarnik effect. There's one that a lot of you will have heard about, and there's one that is not so understood about the Zeigarnik effect. So what's the Zeigarnik effect, Ed? The Zeigarnik effect is this, that everything that you are worrying about or thinking about or even slightly considering that you haven't got out of your head is consuming, I can never pronounce the word, caloric. It's consuming energy in your brain, literal energy, right? Even if it's not conscious, unconsciously, your brain has to keep track of all of these things that you're trying to do. So the first thing that your brain does, if you complete a task and there's no associated emotional thing, in other words, you're not super elated, which is the rare part, or super pissed at yourself, which you do remember very well, then other than that, your brain flushes it from your memory and you can't remember, right? Because your brain needs the energy. It's the brain you can go run for 3 hours straight and your brain consumes more energy in a day than you running for 3 hours, right? It's an enormous energy consumer. It's the number one energy consumer in your body, right? So it needs to conserve that energy at all costs. It's all science. You can look all this up. So problem one is that you forget, as I say, tasks that don't have an emotional energy attached to it. In other words, you were super happy or super disgusted or even slightly disgusted. You forget about it. You flush it from your system. Let me give you a real world example of where you may have come across this. I don't know if you've ever had to fill out expense reports. Now, if you're like me, 65% of you are, you may collate all the receipts and you'll save them all after a 2-week trip and you'll get back and you'll sit down to do your expense report. Yes, this is how I do it. I know. It's sad, right? And you'll look at it and you'll go, what was that? I have no idea what that receipt was. I collected it. It must be important, but I can't remember because there was nothing associated. Your brain has to efficiently dump and flush the memory. So that's what happens. That's the first part. But the second part, and this is the key issue for entrepreneurs, the absolute key, if you're not visually... So, solution to that, by the way, you can free up an enormous amount of energy by just having a visual representation. It has to be visual. It has to be in your face. Because every morning I walk into my office and bam, the first thing I see as I walk through the door is that board and everything that's on it. And my brain subconsciously goes, oh, phew, it's keeping track of all of this stuff. I don't have to. I can think about more creative endeavors. I can think about more flow. I can think about more things to be doing. This is one of the virtues of a Kanban board, some sort of visual tracking process. However, far more importantly, is that you can actually then, at the end of the week, of course, it's the start of the week, so you can see no tickets up there at the moment. But before, when I pulled down my tickets before, I think I did 8 last week. And by the way, on Thursday, I'd done none. There was a lot of stuff that was percolating during the week, which came home to roost on Friday. You can actually start to see what your capacity is, and you can actually start to see the flow of things that are going through. So if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling guilty about not getting enough stuff done, you need to start doing a Kanban board, right? It's the most vital, most crucial thing you can possibly do. And let me tell you, I've had the chance now to implement this with hundreds of people, and for entrepreneurs in particular, it is absolutely phenomenal. Like, it just changes the game because, you know, so many entrepreneurs have done so many productivity courses and bought so many, you know, gone to courses, bought stuff, bought books. This is the thing that sticks. It just is incredible.